14. Euthanasia, a subject frequently debated, defended by some and condemned by others. Euthanasia, the principle which seeks to painlessly end the life of the terminally ill, is back in the news. This is due to its repeated practice by respectable medical authorities. They have used euthanasia on physically or mentally disabled children at the moment of their birth, in pediatric hospitals. Their claim is that there is no scientific hope for their recovery or survival. Such atrocious practices attest to a materialistic view of life which can see only matter and its immediate implications. By disregarding spiritual realities, it also shows the predominance of primitive, animalistic influences in man's emotional makeup. In Old Greece, Spartan hegemony, always ready for war and destruction, legalized eugenic euthanasia. It meant the extermination of the sick, the mutilated, and those with mental disorders, considered a burden to the economy of the state. Led by egotism and tyranny, despite the capricious drives of an exaggerated national pride, they became the victims of their own belligerent impulsiveness. Other peoples, from very remote ages, have also practiced this compassion-motivated homicide. Man does not have the right, by any reason, to determine and deliberate on the life or death of his fellow man. Even the most criminal, or the worst homicide or genocide, should not have his life destroyed. Rather, he should be isolated from social life within cells, doing regenerating work. By this means, and with the help of time, he would be able to expiate and erase his faults. Even dealing with derelicts suffering from mental derangement, there are judicial institutions designed to give them the necessary help without releasing them from their culpability. If their health is recovered, which is rare but not impossible, although handicapped by the possibility of psychotic relapse, they may contribute in some form to society, paying back the damage they caused. As to the so-called incurable diseases, it is well to note that they are no longer a problem today, thanks to the success of medical science and the dedication of its exponents. There is, therefore, the possibility of success in controlling a disease previously considered irreversible. Everyday entities descend from the spirit realm with the mission of furthering the march of progress. They contribute to life with important discoveries, bringing, in the name of the Father, abundant hope and comfort to those who suffer. In dealing with such human aberrations, instead of false pity to rid them of suffering, we must consider the process of divine therapy. The body prison and mental shackles are tools which the heavenly therapy uses as a means of justice to those who on earth had escaped notice and punishment. As they could not avoid the condemnation of their guilty conscience, nor that of the higher legislation, they begged the opportunity to make amends and acquire the spiritual recovery so as to attain their inner peace. The unfortunate ones who in their hatred for life, commit suicide, a rebellious act against providence by smashing their brains, reincarnate as profoundly retarded, deaf-mute, hydrocephalic, or with Down syndrome depending on the part they destroyed. Those who hang themselves reappear with the symptoms of infantile paralysis. Those who drown suffer from emphysema. Those who shot themselves through their heart return with painful, congenital heart problems. The ones who used poison come back tormented by congenital deformities, respiratory deficiencies, gastric ulcers, or corrosive duodenal cancers. Those who delacerated their bodies in dramatic escapes begin again as victims of deformities and great limitations, through which they learn to value the greatness of life. Aggressors, exploiters of mankind, and those who delighted in plundering and all kinds of arbitrary and abusive acts, return to the same field of their ill deeds. Caught by the higher laws of order and harmony, they now return to the places where they spread corruption and unhappiness, retracing their wrong steps. Here they learn the ways of patience, understanding, respect for themselves and their neighbor, humility, and resignation, thus strengthening themselves with blessings for future, happy enterprises. Who has the right to interrupt their precious existence? Those who become their parents, spouses, brothers, or friends are also a part of their life stories and past tragedies. They are either directly or unconsciously responsible, now in the process of rehabilitation. They must give them total support, brotherly assistance, or at least a little love. No one should exert destructive or liberating interference through euthanasia, disturbing such redemptive processes. When touched by the suffering of family members, people say they want to relieve them of their agony. Most often, however, the real reason is selfishness, a hurry to rid themselves of their duty and responsibility of helping and loving them more. There are several medical and surgical means to ease pain which are perfectly in line with Christian charity and compassion. No one has the right to determine whether the life of a patient should be terminated or extended. Human prognostications are as questionable in this matter as in any other. How often patients who were deemed incurable regain their health without any apparent explanation or logic, and how many others, who enjoy excellent health and are in perfect shape, suddenly fall victims of an organic disorder and die unexpectedly. Reincarnation sheds light over the most intricate problems of life. It clarifies misconceptions and doubts in regard to health and sickness, unhappiness and happiness. It helps the assimilation of those regenerative principles, so well exemplified by Jesus Christ and by the Spiritist doctrine, the Comforter, responsible for revealing them in these stormy and distressing times. Utilitarian minds argue, however, that the fortunes spent with incurable patients could be used for valuable medical research to protect healthy people from becoming sick, or to help those patients who are curable. Such is the reasoning of utopians and dreamers. However, they forget that great fortunes are being squandered on noisy, sensuous entertainments, exaggerated luxuries and dissipation. It does not occur to them to invest such resources in good methods of prevention, or assistance to hungry people who abound everywhere and die in want of nourishment, or a ray of light or a little compassion. Every single minute in someone's life is, therefore, of great redemptive value to the spirit. How many noble resolutions, constructive decisions, or negative attitudes can take place in one instant of time? He who is aware of his responsibility, who is charitable and enlightened by religious faith, a faith based on the facts of immortality, of spirit communication and reincarnation, will totally abhor euthanasia. He will help his brother work out his just restitution, a right given him by divine justice to achieve inner peace and advancement. On Sunday's new chapter of the work, contribute by making donations with the publishing of works in the English language. Subscribe to our networks at Casa de Reading KO YouTube and Facebook.